we should stay at home, and if you do need to go into school, then go into school. But if you need to stay home, then you should stay home. It's a virus. It's a deadly virus, as you pointed out, and it's just really hard.
When are the schools going to reopen?
I don't know, Piers. I really don't know. I mean, you throw it. When do you think they should reopen? I really don't know. I mean,
when are the schools going to reopen?
Stop it, can you please? It's just, I don't know. I mean, you're asking me, who am I? You know, I'm just a guy. And you're just a man, and I'm just a man, and we're all just here together, and it's hard. It's hard. Like, I'm really struggling, and you know, I'm not afraid to say that to you now on air. I'm struggling with lots of things, and you know, I don't want to lie to you, Piers. I want to tell you that I don't know, and if you think you have an idea about when they should, then I'd be happy to talk.
Be honest, you have no idea, do you?
I don't have an idea. No, I don't know.
But as we sit here, you have no idea, do you?
I don't know. Like, can you lay off a bit? I don't know.
You assured us in late December that the schools would definitely be reopening. Everyone got wildly excited and everyone went back to school for one day, and then they had to shut, which was one of many, many U-turns that you've had to make in this pandemic. I mean, if you go over your charge sheet, your record as leading our education system, repeatedly shamed over school meals by a footballer, exam result fiasco, the school reopening catastrophe, where you basically sent millions of kids back to school for one day to all infect each other and then go back to their homes so they could infect their elderly relatives, which may now be why we have this horrifying daily death number. We had a poll at ITV 2 weeks ago. We asked England's teachers whether you should resign. 92% of them said you should go. And it does beg the question, given this series of abject failures that you've presided over in the last 10 months, why are you still Education Secretary? Why haven't you done the right thing and resigned and let somebody more competent take over and do a proper job? Because you have failed our kids.
You say these things to me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just here and I'm trying my best, and I don't know. You want me to quit? You want me to quit? I can't. I need a job. You know, I can't just quit. You know, why can't you just accept that? Like, yeah, it's hard, and this, you know, you try sorting this sort of problem out. You try. Just sorry, I keep swearing, and it's not okay. Like, you try and sort out all these kids and the parents and the schools, and you try to have a certain type of boss who doesn't know what he's doing. You try to like listen, and it's all in. It's the whole thing is. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? I can't have all the answers to everything, you know? You're coming down on me like a ton of bricks.
Because the Prime Minister told us it was 70% more transmissible. And yet you said a week later the schools were going to reopen, even though many experts were saying, don't be ridiculous, that is a crazy thing to do. You then insisted on reopening them for one day and said there was not going to be a U-turn. And literally, after one day, you shut them down. It is hard to conjure up a more incompetent decision-making process than that.
Guilty as charged. Yeah, I did a U-turn, but a U-turn is better than an L-turn. I don't know, like an L-turn is you just keep going. No, you don't stop. And I did a U-turn. What, should I say I kept going? Yeah, it's a U-turn. Okay. It's a U-turn. There's nothing wrong with U-turn. A U-bend. A U-bend, yeah? You get a U-bend in the toilet. It's useful. Not everything needs to be straight and true and narrow and hard. You know, things can be bendy. I don't know what I'm saying. But like the point is that, yeah, they had a day in school. That's an important thing, yeah? They had a day in school. Yeah, okay, maybe they infected a lot of people because they had a day in school, but you know, I got people telling me to do this, I got people telling me to do that, I got scientists saying this, I got experts in schools saying this, and I just don't know what to do with it. You know, just lay off me a little bit because it's not fair. Yeah?
Have you offered your resignation to the Prime Minister at any stage of this pandemic? Yes or no?
No.
Failure in your reign as Education Secretary in this pandemic.
Reign.
Given
You
that
make me sound like a king.
92% of teachers in
I wish I
England
was a king.
want you to go.
I wish I was a king.
You're being described by the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrats as the worst Education Secretary in British history. I simply ask you, have you looked in the mirror and thought, you know what? I've done a terrible job. I'm going to say to the Prime Minister, it's time for me to step aside and let somebody more competent take over. Have you had that conversation with yourself, and have you then had it with the Prime Minister?
You're brutal. You know that? You're brutal. Have I looked in the mirror? I look in the mirror every day. And I talk to myself in the mirror as well, you know? I do. I ask myself some questions, but I think, you know, I also see a very beautiful man in the mirror, you know? I'm talking to the man in the mirror, you know, old Michael Jackson. I shouldn't talk about Michael Jackson,
have had
maybe.
Huge ramifications for teachers, for students, for parents. You've been a catastrophe. Own it.
I own it. I own it. I am a catastrophe. You're right. You're right, Piers. I am. Again, you know...
the speed that we go into U-turns after everything that comes out of your mouth.
Mr. Williamson, I'll give you an example, and that is that
you're
many
chipping in now, are
parents
you, love?
expected their children to go back to school.
You haven't got a clue when they're going to reopen. Last time you reopened, you did it for 24 hours. You don't have a clue.
Jesus. Jesus, help me. Jesus, save me.
Why does the UK currently have the worst death rate for coronavirus in the entire world?
Because more people have died here than anywhere else.
Variant. You allow millions of people to meet up with each other.
Well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't make anyone meet up with anybody. I just said if you want to, maybe you should. If you want to, but don't if you don't want to, or maybe you shouldn't. I didn't do it. You think I made people meet up?
The government locked us down too late, and we're now reaping the whirlwind in deaths from that dithering and delay. Exactly the same. I'll just leave with one question, because you avoided this earlier. I know that your focus is on education. I'd expect it to be because you're Education Secretary. What would it take for you to resign?
Probably a better job.